Okay, guys, it's story time. So, one day in quarantine, I got bored and decided to do an experiment with my hair. I grew out most of my heat damage over the past couple of years, but the top layer of my hair, which is also the longest, measuring over 20 inches, is still pretty straight because I primarily wear my hair straight. I've gotten over 9 inches of it cut off over the years, but given that it already has a looser curl pattern than the rest of my head, it's been impossible for me to do a wash and go. Initially, I was going to chop it all off, but then I decided against it given that I've been down that road before and I just like wearing my hair straight. So, in a pure state of boredom, I decided to see what would happen if I curly permed the ends. Now, the footage you're seeing is from 4 months ago, so clearly my hair is still intact, so please don't get all bent out of shape. This is the first time I've used chemicals in my hair in over a decade, so stay tuned to see what happens. After I separated all of the heat damaged hair, I placed plastic caps over the hair that I wouldn't be processing in order to protect it. I used the Wave Nouveau products by Softsheen Carson, which I purchased at Sally Beauty Supply. The first step in the process is to actually give your hair a mild relaxer, but I skipped that step because my hair was already straight on the ends, and I honestly just didn't want to use more chemicals than necessary. So, other than that, I pretty much followed the rest of the directions to a T. The directions first tell you to dampen your hair thoroughly and wrap it around the perm rods using end papers. After all the hair is wrapped, you apply the shape transformer, which has a gel-like consistency. Initially, I was being modest with the application, but as the process went on, I was more generous with the amount of product I used. After the shape transformer was applied to all of my heat damaged ends, I let it process for 10 minutes. Then I checked one of the perm rods by unraveling slightly to see if an S pattern had started to form. It did, but it wasn't super tight or as tight as I needed it to be, so I left it on for an additional 12 minutes and checked every 3 until it looked tight enough. And side note, I want to say that this isn't necessarily a tutorial. I'm just showing you guys what I did in my pure state of boredom. So if you try this, just know that you're trying it at your own risk. Also, something very interesting is that this stuff stinks, like really, really bad. So I would definitely tell you to make sure you are in a ventilated area, like have the window open or have some type of like ventilation system, like in the bathroom going, because it stinks and it's kind of overwhelming. It has like a very strong ammonia smell. Okay, so after that, I rinsed out all of the product with warm water while it was still on the perm rods for 5 minutes, and then I moved on to step 3, which is the shape lock solution. This solution is like super watery, so to avoid it getting in my eyes, I leaned over the sink as I used it and made sure I had a towel wrapped around my neck just in case I needed to blot my face really quickly, which luckily I did not. After I finished applying the shape lock, I let it sit in my hair for 10 minutes, then I rinsed it with warm water again. So after that, I just unraveled all of the perm rods and then proceeded with styling as usual. And I was honestly shook at like how well this took. Now, the one thing I will say is that the curls are not as tight as I wanted them to be. And I think next time when I do this, I just need to use a much smaller perm rod. If you do this yourself, the one thing that you should note is that the size of the perm rod is not necessarily the size of the curl that you'll get after it's all said and done. So if you want something to match your natural texture, you should actually go for something a little smaller. And in hindsight, I should have known that, but for some reason I didn't. So my camera actually died in the middle of me filming the wash and go, but luckily I took a lot of pictures. So just to show you, here was the before. Before I did all of this, this is what it looked like, and this is what I was left with. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think of this. If you'd like a 5-month update, let me know in the comments below, and I will drop that for you. Have a good day.